flying sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie. He like to potty. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling vibe Molly. Kurt, I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped, pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, trapeze. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, my no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Good afternoon and welcome to episode 26 of the Chargers Power Hour. Let's go. JD, you want to hit that drop? The sponsor of the show and of the channel, neonpeacockmerch.com. Before we get into today's show, we're talking custom t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, drinkware, pillows, framed artwork. Seriously, if you can't wear it, drink from it, or have it on your wall, Peacock's designed some of the best stuff. Now, as for Chargers related stuff, you got your Lightning Lad shirt, and you also got your Los Angeles Chargers Jam shirt. So those are just a few of the Chargers things that Peacock has over on the website. As I said, he can do custom stuff. If you got an idea, just shoot him a message, and he probably could put it to work. But no. Also, as for neonpeacockmerch.com, the next sale is upcoming promotion is 15% off site-wide, which is site-wide 15 from 4/6 to 4/8. Then also a week later, there will be another sale from April 13th to the 23rd, which is $14 tees and up to 35% off everything site-wide. So a sale coming up next week and then the week after. So And you're going to find something you love on that. As I said, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. And I thank Peacock for the great sponsor, the great artwork, everything he's done. I got it all on my podcast office and all that stuff. Hey, shut up. COVID. hey, I got it different. I don't say faders. I call Ray Turds, but hey, it's all good. Welcome. But as I said, welcome to episode 26. Glad to have you. Hope everyone's having a great day and a great week. Hey, look at it. Got the draft that's going to be here in about 3.5 weeks. So we're on the road. We're getting there. It'll be soon here before you know it. But, this is going to be a fun episode. I try to put together a bunch. But, this one's going to be called Built in the Trenches, Draft Pressure, Defensive Weapons, and a Team on the Rise. Yeah. Man, I anything to do with the AFC West, I can't stand those Ray Turds, Donkey's Asses, and those Kansas City Queefs. So I can't say a good thing about them. Yes, I got buddies that represent. Love those teams, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to always save my thoughts. Hey, anything else? That's all I got to say, But, JD, you want to pull up that draft buzz picture? All righty. All right, so I know we're heading into draft season in 3.5 weeks. We are here. But I think right now for the Chargers, it's all about fixing the interior. So I'm going to be very clear on this. When it comes to the first 2 rounds of the draft, the Chargers need to prioritize the interior draft, defensive line, and do it again in the second round. So that's to me what we need to prioritize in this draft. I know there's a lot of people saying we need this, we need that. No, it's the interior line of that offensive line. Is get those 2. I'm fine with the first 2 rounds. Is getting the 2 biggest bodies, pause, and filling to project other. I'm talking about interior offensive line round 1 and in round 2. Because you've already seen what happens when the area isn't solidified. We saw it with Herbert getting hit last year. Hey, what's up? Hey, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you for joining. Because we've already seen, as I said, what happens when the area isn't solidified. Herbert got hit how many times last year? A boatload. More than enough and too much to me. But there was too many breakdowns, too much interior pressure. That was just, we didn't see the Herbert we're used to seeing. So too many drives that were never had a chance to develop because of the pocket collapse so damn quick from the inside. So to me, there's a few players that have been mocked to the Chargers, but these things are going to change in the next 3 weeks. But I'm looking at one. I know we did a mock draft on Wake Your Game this morning, and one name I really do like, and that's Kadyn Proctor from Alabama. Let's talk about one of the most intriguing offensive line prospects in the 2026 NFL draft. Out of Alabama, Kadyn Proctor. When you turn on the tape, the first thing you see is the size. He's a big boy. We're talking about a massive human being. A human being that you're not going to move around too much, but at offensive tackle. Long arms. That's long, powerful arms. Pause. Massive human being. The kind of frame NFL teams dream about. Protecting their franchise quarterback. I mentioned it the last 3 shows. It's about protecting Justin Herbert. I don't care. I know what everyone wants, but we know what we need on the Chargers, and that's protecting Justin Herbert. You protect Justin Herbert, man, you never know what's going to happen. But I think, to me, this draft, it has to be about protecting Herbert. Obviously, free agency has been about small scheme fits here and there, but I think now the protection of this draft is going to be about protecting Herbert. For me, Kadyn Proctor is a guy that's built for like that, protecting a quarterback. He's also surprisingly light on his feet. He can mirror pass rushers, stay square, and recover from when he gets beat initially. That's a huge, especially going up against SEC. He was going up against SEC edge talent every single week in the SEC. They're loaded in that division. That's one name, but there's a few. As I said, it's going to change. Proctor is a first-round talent. They think he could be there at 22. We shall see. But there's other teams that are in need of edge. But at 22, there's names I do like. Proctor's one. Another name is for an edge rusher. Boston. Yeah, exactly. It's been a day. Another name is Edge TJ Parker from Clemson. Now, that's been another name I've been watching tape on. And another name I've seen the Chargers mock to, but not as much as I've seen with Caleb Proctor and other names. But, I mean, Parker's another edge that's had a Natron Means, man. That was a beast. Now, that's a name, and that's a hell of a name. Yeah. That Natron Means, man. I was looking at old school jerseys today, and that was one of them on Mitchell and Ness was Damon Tomlinson and Natron Means, number 20. Yeah, that's but no, I mean, to me, this draft is, as I said, it's going to be all about protecting Herbert. I mean, we only have 5 picks. If I say, hey, take all 5 picks, get all we need to protect Justin Herbert. It's about protecting your investment. I mean, TJ Parker was offensive lineman. Offensive tackles. His hands are amazing. Combination, what appears good. He's a great pass rusher and a game wrecker. But what stands out most about I saw on the tape was his natural closing speeds on quarterbacks. And his tackles flatten quarterbacks, but it's more like, hey, this is what the Chargers need. They need to protect Justin. We lost Owe. We lost many people in free agency. We have to start picking up. I understand we've got that in free agency, but we haven't got anything of protection. I know we just picked up a defensive lineman from the Detroit Lions who has about 1,000 snaps, but I'll get to that later. But to me, this draft has to go interior offensive lineman, first and second round. We need to protect Justin Herbert. We saw last year how many times the man was hit. I mentioned him on the show numerous times, week in, week out. If it was 9 times, 8 times, I get sick and tired. I'm like, hey, man, when are we got to put Justin Herbert on the IL? Or when is he going to be hurt? Because that's how many times this man was hit. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, he's a true edge presence for the future also. It's about building a line and protecting Justin Herbert. Yeah, he's a beast. But, Parker is a name that we could watch, but there's several names out there. I mentioned there's the Penn State kid, the guy, but as I swear every other day it changes. So, I think the closer we get to the draft, the more and more. And as later on the show, I'll mention a lot of players that the Chargers had brought in for visits. Some names I've mentioned, some names I have not mentioned. But another name I know I did mention on the last show was I want to spotlight is Emmanuel Pregnon, I guess. He's an offensive guard. As I said, I talk about the trenches. We know Harbaugh likes to build from the trenches out. Well, this is another big boy pause. That would be great on the Chargers. He's a perfect fit for the Chargers, is Pregnon. He's a powerful interior lineman out of USC. This is the kind of move that doesn't always grab headlines. I mentioned this last week about Pregnon. But in games in December and January is when it really counts. And the Chargers have made it clear they want to protect our quarterback and establish more of a physical identity. He checks off both of those boxes. He's a strong point of attack, moves defenders in the run game. He's technically sound, keeps leverage and hand placement clean. He's also a versatile player. Played in a couple positions in college, so he can slide across the interior if need. So that's going to be helpful. We know what the Chargers do when we get players. We try to get players that are going to fill multiple needs. Yeah, the Donkeys upgraded. You know what? The Donkeys may have upgraded. I'll say it now. I know I mentioned in episode 25 about the Jalen Waddle stuff, but you know what? To me, that Waddle stuff is he's going to help. He's going to help the passing game, to help Bo Nix, who didn't have a true number one. Yeah, he has Cortland Sutton, but to me, once Tyreek went down, when he got that injury, right? Did Waddle step up? Not really. He really hasn't lived up to that number 6 pick in the draft billing. So, but then again, he was kind of shadowed over by Tyreek over there in Miami. But we're going to see now if Waddle is the quote unquote the man in Denver. And as I said last week, he's going from South Beach, warm weather to now a cold climate weather. I mean, we're going to see what Waddle's all about. But you know what? I ain't too worried about the donkey's asses. That's not me. I'm not. But I'm more worried about protecting Justin Herbert. As I said, let's just get this taken care of. I mean, he's a very versatile player. I turned on some YouTube and watched some games, and hey, he was nasty. He controlled aggression was one word that came to mind about Pregnon from at a USC. I mean, something the offensive line could use more of. I mean, an immediate impact potential player. I mean, if he's drafted, he would be a complete for a starting guard spot early. Upgrade our interior line pass protection dramatically. Help create lanes for more balanced offense, which we need. Remember, we got the Mike McDaniels offense. So this offense is going to be clicking, hopefully. But hey, that's what I'm saying. Let's hope so. And let's be real. Keeping your quarterback upright and keeping his jersey clean isn't. Yeah, it is the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins are Dolphins. But you know what? Let's see. I'm not sold on Bo Nix. I mean, maybe haven't seen Bo Nix with a weapon like Waddle. I mean, yeah, we had Cortland Sutton, but let me see what Denver's about. I mean, Denver's improved. They got a great defensive line. They got everything I would love the Chargers to have. That line, that offensive line, I would love that for the Chargers. But unfortunately, we don't have that. But that's something we can dream and wish for. But unfortunately, Denver's got that. Kudos to them. But hey, I mean, let's see what it looks like. I mean, to me, protecting Herbert is going to be a crucial thing this year. We saw what he can do offensively without an offensive line. Just imagine what he can do with a healthy offensive line. Just think, we have Joe Alt coming back. We have Rashawn Slater coming back. We're going to have a new center. Yeah. That defense. No, I ain't going to lie. That defense is nasty. That I won't lie. The defense over in Denver is a nasty dude. That's one thing. Denver won a lot of games last year. I'm going to say this. Sorry for getting off track. But Denver won a lot of games last year because of their defense, not because of their offense. Really, if you look at that Denver offense, how often did they rely on Bo Nix? They really didn't. That defense carried them. So to me, that's all I'm going to say on that. Defense was carried. Denver was carried by their defense last year, not their offense. Now their offense is going to look a little different this year, just like every team is going to look different from free agency, trades, etc. But hey, Denver had to do something. They had no choice. But to me, I feel they gave up quite a bit, a first, a third, and a fourth for Waddle. So, hey, if you want to give that much draft capital up for someone, okay. But I thought that was a little too much. But hey, it's less draft capital for them to use, I guess. But for me, the long-term outlook here, isn't just a death move. This is a tone-setting pick if we get Pregnon, or potentially. I mean, if developed properly, he has the potential to be a multi-year starter potential. The ability to anchor a top-tier offensive line unit, a chance to become one of those quietly elite interior guys every contender and every team needs. I mean, if the Chargers are serious about building a tougher, more reliable offense, as Ortiz has said, as Harbaugh says, if that's what they want to do, you got to go to get these big boys' paws. But Emmanuel could be on our radar. We shall see what happens. Now, the Chargers did have a linebacker in for a visit about a few days ago, and there's a lot of buzz about him, and that's Harold from LSU, Harold Perkins Jr. Shout out to Papa Guru and to Spencer. They're LSU fans over there. So, I mean, LSU they put out wide receivers, but this is a linebacker that many teams are going to have an eye on. I mean, he's become that dude this week, and he's put the league on notice from his pro day, his 40, and a lot of things that I haven't got around to watching it, but I've seen highlights from his pro day, and it's impressive. I mean, Perkins showed up and is absolutely lit it up at his pro day, headlined by a blazing 4.38 40-yard dash at 220 pounds. Let me say, 220 pounds, 4.38. And if not, that's not normal for a normal linebacker. That's a wide receiver speed for a linebacker. And then again, you stack up the rest of it. I mean, he's 30. He had a 35-inch vertical, 10.4 broad jump, and nearly 6'1" with a 77-inch wingspan. So, I mean, this isn't just speed; it's explosiveness, twitchy, sideline to sideline athleticism. But I haven't seen. He was in for a visit with the Chargers. I believe today's Friday. I believe it was Wednesday. He was at the Bolt. So it's nice to have all these. I know we get 30 visits, but I mean, it's going to be. I think more and more we get closer to the draft, we're going to see the names that the Chargers are really focused on. I haven't seen anything about offensive weapons. I know we brought in wide receivers for visits, but if the more I look at the visits for the Chargers, they've been offensive line, interior offensive line, and defensive line players. Nothing to do with, I think I've seen a total of 2 wide receivers in for a visit. One was Casey Concepcion, and another was, I believe it was a kid from Indiana. I forget the name, but I know we've had 2 wide receivers in. But no, I mean, we're going to see a lot coming up. I mean, Perkins is a name that could, with his pro day and whatever, not it could be a name, but we just brought him in to visit to see. But I know linebacker is an issue, is a need for us. So, you know, it's obviously going to be a thing. But, I mean, he probably brought himself up brought his stock up, and many teams are. Yeah, Patriots need O-line. Great. I did see that. This was happened to see after Wake Your Game Up. I did see that the Patriots do want to possibly move up in the first round for an offensive lineman. I did see that. So, yeah, Well, the Patriots need an O-line. I mean, we know that the Raiders did in their free agency. They had the money to fix that line, but you know, obviously they got to do stuff in the draft too. But yeah, the Patriots do. I've talked to my friend Mark, and he said O-line upgrade is a huge thing for the Patriots. And as much as I can't stand the Patriots, trust me, man, it is. They need that O-line, but hey, they got something going on over there with Drake May. So if they hit on these picks right the correct way to protect him and then surround him with weapons, I think New England's going to be fine, personally. Not that I care what New England does, but you know what? I do talk to Mark a lot about the Patriots, and we go back and forth. And, hey, as much as I have family that live there, hey, kudos to New England and whatever it's going to do. But, JD, you want to pull up that we will picture? All righty, then. I know. The headline is, we will be dangerous. Keyword is, we have the possibility to be dangerous. That's keyword here is staying healthy, and that's what I really think of. So, as I said here, don't sleep on the Los Angeles Chargers heading into 2026. I mean, as I said, we're going to have Rashawn Slater back. We're going to have Joe Alt back. We're going to have a new center in Tyler Biadasz. That's going to be fun. I finally can say that name with no problems. That's good. But look, I'm telling you right now, as of today, do not sleep on the Chargers heading into 2026. This team is walking into the season with a different kind of energy, a dangerous kind of energy. Mark is focusing on the Raiders with Tom. Unfortunately, he has a different hairline than that Mark. But no, I hear you there. No, it's an inside joke that I say with Mark. But no, hey, all that. Oh, the Raiders are the Raiders. They're just, to me, they had the money to fix their stuff, but come on, they're going to be throwing a rookie quarterback out there, or should I say, we don't know. They are drafting a Mendoza. Everything's pointing towards Mendoza. I haven't seen anything they're not coming off of the Mendoza pick. They still haven't got a backup quarterback right now, so that's in flux. I mean, is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Is it going to be, I know the blurb came out about Brady wanting to mentor Mendoza. That was a joke, but, I ain't going to waste my time on the Raiders. Sorry. But, it's going to be fun. I mean, different kind of energy for me, a dangerous kind of energy. And the craziest part of it is they don't even need to go wild in free agency. As you see, what the Chargers have done in free agency in the 2.5 weeks, they haven't done much. The biggest addition to me was Tyler Biotish, our center. Yeah, we added Ingold. We added what was it? The running back, the Miami Dolphins players here and there. But everything I looked at was all scheme fits. All the players that fit the Mike McDaniel offense or his mold, his schemes, is what we've been doing. Nothing big splash signings besides Biotish. That was the 3-year, $30 million we spent. But I know a lot of Chargers fans are pissed as shit because we're not going out and spending money to protect Herbert. Because I remember Ortiz said, hey, man, we're going to spend this offseason to protect Herbert. But as a Chargers fan myself, I know how cheap Dean Spanos is. He's a cheap motherfucker. And if you could trade an owner, that would be motherfucker I would trade. But, hey, nothing you can do about that. Hey, Dean, I just hope you just do what's right, man. Stay out of the way. Let the guys do the work. But, hey, man, let's just try to improve this team. I mean, while the no other teams out there are just they're throwing all the big money away like the Raiders and all the other teams. I mean, I said it was like for our free agency was like shopping at a thrift store than Neiman Marcus. So I'm going to say it was almost like shopping a clearance sale or something like that. And the Chargers took a different approach. And I'm not because I know how cheap our owner is, but more like I don't want to be cheap by protecting Justin Herbert. We just gave him what, $240 million a couple years ago, an extension. So come on, protect your investment. Don't back it up with. I mentioned last week. These are almost like 1-year rental players we got. There were mainly 2-year deals that how they were worked. They ended up being like 1-year deals. But I would love to see the Chargers stay disciplined. I mean, they kept their core intact. They trusted the foundation they've been building. Yeah, losing OA stings, but that's not the headline. I mean, the real story is who's coming back because the team is getting healthier. As I said, we got Slater coming back, returns. You got your franchise left tackle, the tone setter. Joe Alt is back. We saw what Joe Alt was last year. When healthy, when in the lineup, Justin Herbert was not touched. When he was out of the lineup, it was a different story. So basically, bringing back these 2 tackles is going to be huge for the Chargers. So that's, for me, another reason why we didn't go out and spend in free agency. But I personally would have liked 1 tackle or guard after losing OA and Johnson. We have to replace that. That's why I think this draft has to be hit on all cylinders. Don't waste time. It's about protecting Herbert. And I repeat myself again. Draft has to be. It's be about protecting Justin Herbert because look at it to it. And then you add Tyler Biotish. He brings stability. Finally, a steady presence at center. And then you got Trevor Penning, re-signed. He's a depth piece, versatility and continuity because he was here the end of last year. Other than that, he's nothing but a depth piece. I know a lot of Chargers fans are pissed as shit at bringing Penning back, but I understand they got him for the cheap because he knows. But was I happy? No, I wasn't. I wasn't happy when I saw Trey Pipkins come across my phone as re-signed out. I was not happy. Yeah, that's true. He has a helmet, but no, I mean, I think with Biotish now, it's going to be. I'm looking forward to this because watching Bradley the Clown Bozeman last year was horrendous. I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry than what I was watching last year from Bozeman. But, I mean, let's really break it down. Why these returns and additions matter in depth. Rashawn Slater isn't just a talent left tackle. He's the anchor of our line when healthy. I mean, I know that injury he suffered is something that not many come back from, but I'm hoping he's going to be almost close to 100% when he comes back next. He should be. But obviously, with that kind of injury he suffered, he may not be 100%. So we have to take that into consideration. But, I mean, look at that. And he's an anchor of our line when he's on the field. The quarterback's blind side is protected with confidence. I mean, we got Slater back. And then we got Joel. And he's also a strong wrong blocker, as for Slater. He sets the edge. When he went down previously, That line, as I said, it dropped significantly, and it was bad. And now Joel, heading into year 2 is a crucial year. I mean, we know what it's like when you have Joel out there and when you don't have him out there. So let's just have him out there the whole 17 games. I'd love that. I mean, year 2 is crucial. Tackles often take a big leap in year 2, and this is it. I mean, Justin Herbert will thrive having both of these guys back, and I think it's going to be excellent. I mean, we know Joel, he has the experience with the NFL speed, his technique, his adjustments, and much, much more. Suddenly you have we have our bookend tackles back. And that's something we never had last year for a full continuity of 17 games. We had no Slater last year, so we just had Alt. So now we're going to see what Slater and Alt together for 17 games hopefully can do. I mean, and then it's about and protect Justin Herbert. You give Justin Herbert a clean pocket, man, this is going to be fun to watch. And it's going to open up the run game too. So that's what I'm saying. We saw what Amari and Hampton did last year with a not healthy line. Just imagine what he's going to do this year with Slater and Alt back, Biotish there, and the additions that we do make. Now, as to Biotish, Tyler Biotish at center, an often underappreciated move, but a good center is the nerve center of the offensive line, and they call him the quarterback of the offensive line, and that's what we got to do. We got to have that. As I said earlier, I wasn't a fan of Bozeman. That's why I call him the clown. He was not good for us, so we shall see. I mean, keep the line organized. Biotish is going to keep the line organized, provide interior strength, something the Chargers have been missing in consistency. We haven't had a center since Corey Linsley. We know what Corey Linsley was, man. Herbert wasn't touched when Lindsey was here. Unfortunately for the injuries that he suffered and had in his career, he had to retire. But man, Corey Linsley was a beast. I miss seeing that man out there. That's something I wish. If Biotish is anything like that, which I know he's not, but man, just having Biotish now compared to what we had last year, it's a hell of an upgrade. That's all I got to say, because remember talking a few months ago that center had to be addressed. It was addressed before free agency. That was a blessing, but come on now. I'm looking forward to this one. But am I wasting my time on Trevor Penning? Not really. It's just more of, I said earlier, he's a depth piece. I mean, he was signed as a depth piece. Is he a starter? I hope not, but that's something do I want my quarterback killed? No, but do I trust Trevor Penning? No, I don't. But I have to because he's on my team. But do I have confidence in him? No, I don't. I really don't. But he'll be. I think he's going to be used to his advantages in matches. But but the Chargers have turned what was a liability, protection, and inconsistency into a potential strength with the addition of Biotish. I feel that was probably the best addition so far. And then you got the other additions that we did in free agency. So if they're saying what was a weakness now is a strength, that's great. But now let's just fill those rest of those needs and strengths in this draft and get the correct players. All righty. Now, JD, you want to pull out the Khalil Mack picture for me, please? All right. Let's talk about something that honestly deserves way more respect right now, and that's Khalil Mack. All right. Because what this man is doing in a Chargers uniform, it's not just good, it's historic. All right. Well, we're talking about a guy who's only played 62 games with the Los Angeles Chargers and has already sits top 10 in franchise history in forced fumbles. Let me say that again. 62 games, 13 forced fumbles. That's tied for 7th all-time in Chargers history. And that's the part that really blows my mind. Is every other player in the top 10 played at least 100 games. Mack is doing this basically in half of the time. And that's just not just production, but that's just pure dominance. That's a game-wrecking, momentum-shifting, tone-setting football player. Because his forced fumbles aren't just stats; those are drive killers. Those are momentum swings. Those are we're talking about game from hype type plays. And Khalil Mack has been that guy for the Chargers the past 4 years. The defense since the moment he put on powder blue. Let's go. Let's have a great year 5, Mack. I mean, it's just not just getting sacks. He's punching the ball out, balls, creating chaos, and changing games in an instant. I remember that game against the Steelers last year on the, what was it? Was it a 2-point conversion where he sacked freaking Aaron Rodgers? And that was a huge game changer in that game. I recall that a lot. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame level, what a Hall of Fame level impact player looks like. So when we talk about the Chargers defense, we talk about the identity, and it all starts with Khalil Mack. I mean, Khalil Mack isn't just part of it. He is it, and he's also a key portion of that defense. And if he keeps his pace up, we're not just talking 10 anymore, but we don't have Owe. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the player I would like the Chargers to go out and get, and I shout out to Minnesota Dennis, the Ginger Ninja. I would love the Chargers to go after Jonathan Grenard. That'd be a hell of an edge rusher. I know it's going to cost us some, but you know what? It might be worth it. I mean, it's not. We have the money. I did read a blurb this morning that he does want big money, like some of the contracts that have been given out. So now that might be a cause or a pause why we haven't signed him, because it might be the price tag. But that is a player that, if it was possible to get, I would like it. But I mean, Khalil Mack is a franchise player, and he's obviously proven that, because the Chargers are paying them the money. You know, they're giving them, $18 million this year? So we shall see. Now, let me get to, JD, you mind pulling up that Junior Colson picture? All righty. Now, I'm going to call, this is Junior Colson, but to me, it's like Missing in Action Junior Colson. One of Harbaugh's boys, of his Michigan Wolverine players. All right. Well, we drafted him a few years ago, and we really haven't seen him on the field at all due to injuries. So that's going to be a concern. That's one thing about Junior. He hasn't been on the field. I mean, Bolt fam, let's talk about one of the biggest question marks on the defense heading into 20. Junior Colson, do you still believe in him? This is a big year for Junior Colson. I mean, you've been here for 3 years, and you've probably played about 7 games. I mean, let's be honest. His NFL journey so far hasn't been anything but smooth. This is a 23-year-old linebacker coming out of Michigan after a national championship, a lot. An impact trophy winner, a guy who led one of the best defenses in college football. The talent, that's never been the question. It's been his availability. The guy, I think, has played a total 7 games of his career with the Chargers. Has not been on the field. So, I mean, let me run this back real quick, so everyone understands just how uphill this battle has been. Rookie year, he had an appendectomy in training camp, appendectomy, I think it's called, which immediately set him behind before even not going. Then during the same rookie season, he dealt with a hamstring injury and landed on the season injured reserve, limiting him to just 11 games. And then come the brutal blow. Heading into year 2, he suffered a season-ending shoulder injury that required surgery, wiping out his entire season last year before it even started. So, yeah, when I say uphill battle, I mean it. I mean, but where is it? This is where it's getting interesting. Because when you turn on the Michigan tape and what he's done so far, you see a linebacker that has it all. But we're talking about a guy who can go sideline to sideline, run diagnose plays fast, and play physically. Brings physicality in the middle. He was a 100-plus tackle guy in college, and the Chargers drafted him for a reason. But that reason we drafted him, we haven't been able to see that. I mean, and don't forget, this is a Jim Harbaugh guy. That matters. You know, he likes to bring his guys over. But obviously, yeah, I've been in Chargers group, and it's like, where the hell is Junior Colson? Because he can't stay healthy. I mean, so what does potential now that he's finally healthy into 2026? Ooh, let's see. I'm talking about a true 3-down linebacker, ceiling, a guy who can rack up 100-plus tackles in the system, a tone setter next to guys like Daylon Henley, someone who can eventually take over as a defensive quarterback of this unit. But we haven't been able to see that yet. But this is the real conversation. We're at a point now where it's put up or shut up, because that's where I'm at with Colson. I mean, I won't lie. I have a lot of shares of him in IDP fantasy leagues, and I haven't been able to use those. I mean, I remember trading with Bogey last year, and there was a few I got Junior Colson, and I didn't get to use them. But a lot of Charger fans don't believe in Junior Colson, and that's from what I've read and said. We haven't been able to see it. I mean, can his body hold up and long enough to talent the show? Can he carve out a role as a linebacker that's already moving forward without him? That's another question. They're almost like they've moved on that linebacker without Colson in it. And he was projected to be that linebacker, but nothing there. And he still can't become that guy we thought what we're getting on draft day 2 years ago. I'll say this. If he's healthy, the upside is still there. He's young. But heading into 2026, this might be one of the most important prove-it seasons of the entire Chargers roster for someone to prove, hey, I belong. Because technically, we would have, rookie contracts at 4 years. This would be going into year. Yeah, so, yeah, this is a prove-it year for Colson. All right, now, JD, you want to pull up that Derwin James picture, please? Now, this was kind of impressive when I saw this. This is on Derwin James. I'd say Derwin James is probably the most valuable safety in football. Or you could say that. I'm going to say that because of what he can do versatility-wise. Look at all the positions he played. On the defensive line, box, free safety, slot. I mean, this guy can do it all. And to me, when you talk about a defensive chess piece in today's football, you're really talking about a name. The top of that list has to be Derwin James. Is one of the best safeties in football. I mean, this past season might have been one of the most complete, as I showed you there. They're the most diverse version of Derwin we've ever seen in his career. I mean, we're not talking about a box safety or a deep coverage guy. We're talking about he was everything last year for the Chargers, lining up in the slot, dropping back into single high defender, playing in the box like a linebacker, even coming off the edge as a blitzer. He impacted every single level of the defense last year. And I was watching the thing on Jesse Minter this morning, and Derwin James was praising him up and down, saying what a leader he was to that locker room, and whatever team whatever team got him was getting everything they ever needed. And man, I'm gonna miss seeing Minter, and I know the Chargers defense is gonna miss him too. But hopefully we don't miss any steps this year, and we're just gonna keep on going. But Derwin James is a beast. I mean, it shows. He showed last year. He is the catalyst of that defense. I mean, and that secondary. A lot of safeties are great at one thing, but maybe they're just elite ball hawks. But maybe they're just tone setters in the run game. But Derwin James, he erases matchups. He follows defenses coordinators to disguise coverages, rotate late, and then created because of offenses can't key in on going beyond the snap to snap. I mean, Derwin James is that man for that defense. I mean, and we have some great, that's our secondary. Is one thing I'm going to touch on in future shows is about our secondary. Think about it. How many players in the league can cover tight ends, slot receivers, fit the run like a linebacker, blitz like an edge rusher, and still hold their own in deep coverage pods? That's very, very rare for most players. But then again, not for Derwin James, and I'm glad he's on my team. And from a value standpoint, it's not just production, it's versatility. He's an impact, and he's a game planning for stress. Offensive coordinators have a night count for him every single play. That's a value you can't always measure on the stat sheet. You got to make sure Derwin James is covered. And that's a blessing in disguise. And I'm just glad he's on my team. Now, is he the most valuable safety in the league right now? I think he's top 5. I'm not going to say there's other players out there that are younger that are great. But I would say Derwin James is top 5 for sure. I mean, because while others might have more interceptions or flashier numbers, nobody does everything at a high level the way Derwin James does. He's not just a safety. He's a defensive weapon for the Los Angeles Chargers. And in today's NFL, where offenses are more dynamic than ever, having a player who can counter everything like Derwin James, it might just make him more valuable, make him the most valuable safety in football. Just look at those numbers, what he did. He played 4 different positions last year. So to me, he is the most valuable person on that Chargers defense besides or the secondary. I mean, look at these numbers speak for themselves. I really haven't seen another. I'm not saying there's other safeties that play multiple, but if you look at the amount of snaps he played last year, and look at that. In the box alone, it was 2,100 and 1,500 free safety. Come on now. I mean, that man is the man. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing, even without Minter this year, I know he really loved playing for Minter and his defense, but, we're going to see what we got this year. I mean, now, JD, you want to pull up that Ladd McConkey picture? All right. Now, I put that in the picture because I really feel Mr. Ladd McConkey will have a bounce back year. Not just for Ladd, but look at the offense he's in. And I think out of all I really think bounce back player years, I'm not going to say in this offense this year, Ladd to me is going to have a big year, as well as Amari and Hampton will have a big year. So let me get to Ladd. Let's talk about a name that's starting to buzz around league circles is Ladd McConkey. There are several NFL GMs right now who believe Ladd McConkey is primed for a bounce-back season, especially operating inside the Mike McDaniel's offense. And when you really break it down, it makes a lot of sense. McDaniel's system is built on speed, timing, and creating space. And that's exactly where McConkey thrives. And we saw that his rookie year. And we're talking about a receiver who wins with quickness, elite change of direction. That's one thing that Ladd is exceptional about. And the ability to turn short completions into big gains. That yards after catch ability, that's where he can really shine. And in these schemes from Mike McDaniels, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Think about it. How Mike McDaniel uses motions, misdirections, and layered routes concepts to get the playmakers into space. Now plug McConkey into that role. Ooh, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Quick hitters, crossing route screens, those are high efficiency touches that can get him going early and get often. It's going to be fun. And if he gets into rhythm, watch out. We know what Ladd and Justin Herbert can do. Now that we're going to have an offensive line that's healthy, just think of the timing that Justin Herbert's going to have and the space that Ladd McConkey can create in this new offense. It's going to be, when he gets into rhythm, look out. This is going to be an offense to watch out for this year. And I know after the draft, post-draft, I'm going to do a post-draft show / fantasy show. So it's going to be, I'll make it very interactive, and I'm hopefully everyone can tune in and watch that show because I know there'll be plenty of people after the draft, focusing on fantasy football. Because I know everyone on our channel is going to be doing that too, but I'm going to try to bring the Chargers aspect of what that new Mike McDaniel's offense and bring the fantasy aspect over it after the draft. So it's going to be fun. So to me, this could be one of those under the radar bounce back seasons where suddenly you're talking about McConkey as a major contributor again, especially in fantasy formats where the volume and the yak are king. So don't sleep on Ladd McConkey this year. He's in the right system with the right play caller. This could be a perfect match, not just for Justin Herbert, but for Ladd McConkey and also Amari and Hampton. I think this whole offense is going to shine. But, man, if we're talking about yak, I think also we're going to see a lot of yak from Quentin Johnston this year. And I know there's a lot of rumors out there that people wanted him traded. Well, the Chargers are not going to – I'll get to that a bit later on. But on that note, actually, JD, you want to pull up that QJ picture? I'll get to it now. All right, now that I just mentioned QJ, let's talk about Quentin Johnston. I'm going to have to start laying off calling him Butterfingers. Yes, he was Butterfingers his rookie year, but Butterfingers, that had a roll, that had a slide, because he really, the last 2 years, he hasn't shown that. So, hey, especially against the Dallas Cowboys, he had that one-handed catch, so really couldn't call him Butterfingers. So, I'll get down. Let's talk about QJ, because this is where it's starting to feel like a real turning point now. The Chargers view him. Well, there was a blurb out this week, and because according to Chris Rhyme, the Chargers are doing the opposite of panicking. They are doubling down. Reports say the team loves Quentin Johnston, not likes, not will see. They love him unless something comes in with you got to be kidding me type of offer, meaning in a trade. That's the only reason they're going to let go of Quentin Johnston, if someone blows them away with the trade offer. So, in other words, he's not going there. I know a lot of Chargers fans in Chargers groups want him gone. I know he was mentioned earlier in free agency as potentially being a trade chip. But looks like not. I mean, the Chargers they've made the decision. They're going to hold on to him unless the price is right. Now, let's unpack. Let me unpack it a little bit, because all this isn't just like fluff. This is front office mindset. We're talking about a 23-year-old wide receiver with elite physical tools. 6'3", explosive after the catch. So he was known for at TCU was yards after the catch. He's built to be a mismatch nightmare, but hasn't been that in his career so far. And I'm not going to stick up for QJ there. I know I've been a QJ truther, but as that part there, he hasn't been a matchup nightmare. Yes, he has the size, but he hasn't had that matchup nightmare central yet. I mean, he has to get the separation, but he's that kind of player that can be that though. But he could become a serious problem for defenses in this new offense. So we shall see. And we all seen it. The production hasn't consistently matched the traits yet. The drops, yes, but the drops were there year one. Yeah, he's had some crucial drops. Yes, also there. But to me, the drops, the timing, and the confidence, I really feel Quentin Johnston has lacked confidence in the prior 2 years in the Greg Roman offense. Now we're going to see what he can do in the Mike McDaniel offense. This is an offense built for offensive players and offensive playmakers. So please, let's see what you can do, QJ. This is not just, hey, this is like, hey, you want to make that good money? Prove it. You're in an offense now that show that you can earn that money. You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so here's what the Chargers are telling us, are not saying it outright. They believe the issue is development, not ability. They believe he hasn't peaked, not even close. And most importantly, for QJ, they're not about to give up on a high upside weapon this early. So we shall see what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And we're going to see what happens at the draft. That will be a very crucial thing. Could he be involved in a draft day trade or something? We do not know. I know it's 36 days away, but we're going to see. And let's be real for a second. Trading Johnston right now would be selling him at his lowest possible value. That's how you lose deals in the NFL, pretty much. He's still on his rookie deal. But instead of the Chargers are betting on his growth. They're betting on his chemistry with Justin Herbert improving. They're betting that year 3 is where things start to slow down for him mentally and speed up on the field. Because I would love that growth. He's shown growth the last 2 years. Show a lot more this year. You got a lot on the table to fix up this year. Because if he hits in this offense, Johnston, and figures it out, you're not talking about a legit X receiver with size, speed, and yak. But the ability is Justin Herbert offense. That could be dangerous. So, yeah, no trade is coming, not unless someone absolutely empties the vault for QJ, which I don't think they're going to do. personally. But we shall see what happens. What this mean? What means one thing? The Chargers aren't done with QJ. They're just getting started. They want to see what he has in this offense. And honestly, this might be the year that either he proves them right or makes this conversation a whole lot louder next offseason, because we're going to have to pay him for that or that 5th year. So don't expect Quentin Johnston to be going anywhere anytime soon. If anything, this might be the year that they double down and they really try to unlock him and unlock his potential. So we shall see on that one. All right, that's on the QJ. JD, you want to pull up that dead money picture, please? All righty. So I know when it comes to dead money, a lot of teams talk about, we saw what the Dolphins just had to take on with the Tua and all their players. They were like leading the pack in dead money. I think it was like 99 million. It was like 165 million of dead money going into the whole season. Well, the Chargers right now are sitting in 3rd with about 5.5 million in dead money. So let me talk about this. Let's just talk about something that doesn't always get headlines. It's always the splash signings and stuff like that. But absolutely, this is the stuff that wins championships over time. And that's cap health. Both the Chargers are ranking top 5 in lowest dead money in the NFL. And that's a big deal. Why this actually matters. Dead money is basically cash you're paying players who are no longer on your roster. It's the cost, the past decisions. A past decision for the Chargers would be J.C. Jackson. We made that big splash signing for him about 3-4 years ago, and he hardly even played. So, I mean, it's about past decisions, missed contracts, restructures, or moving off players early. As an example, moving off players early for me recently would be couldn't really think top of my head, but I'm just saying so when you're near the top of the lowest in dead money, that means you're not stuck paying for the past. You got clean books and financial controls. So these contracts coming up, and most important, you have options. For the Chargers, this is huge. The front office has the potential to the team to be aggressive in free agency when need be, extend core players without cap stress, build their franchise quarterback the right way and around him, instead of constantly restructuring and rushing money into the future. You create a system where they can build sustainably, and that's how you stay competitive year in, year out. And why this matters moving forward for the Chargers and any other team. This isn't just a stat. This isn't just a window indicator. Low dead money means you can pivot quickly into something that isn't working. You can add impact players without gutting your roster. You're not forced into decisions. Just stay cap compliant. And in today's end of the NFL, it's flexibility equals power and all that stuff. So I mentioned the thing about what I thought about the Waddle. So I had it written down. This is what I had written down. I said I wanted to say this last week. Denver acquiring Waddle. I don't think a lot about Jalen Waddle because the way he was a clear-cut number 2 when it came to when Tyreek went out. He did virtually nothing. I'm not saying he did things, right? But he virtually did nothing as the number 1. And he never lived up to being the number 6 overall pick. I'm just saying that was my thoughts on the Waddle trade. But again, we'll all soon find out. He could prove me wrong, and I will eat my words. You can clip that. But that was my thought on the Waddle trade. And I didn't get to say that last week. That was my thing. Now, as for Chargers news and notes, I mentioned we had a lot of visits. Okay. The Chargers did sign a guard that's from Detroit, and his name is Kyode Asawaka. He was signed for 1 year, I believe. I think it was like a million and change. Now, visits, we had Daylon Everett in for a visit. We had Caleb Banks in for a visit. Now, that's another name that the Chargers have had interest in, but Caleb Banks is going to be a name that a lot of players or teams are going to want. So It's on a wish list for Caleb Banks, but I know he's going to be highly sought after. Also, Zion Young came in for a visit. Our running back, Greg DeZorosis, came in for a visit. Now, this is a name I do think the Chargers, I was going to mention this, but I had taken it out of my notes because I had a lot of information. So I just want to try to spread things out and in different shows. Was Chase Benatis came in for a visit. I know he's a highly sought after player. I thought if the Chargers were going to do that, it would be a second-round pick or something like that. As I said, I know teams were calling about QJ, and the Chargers shut that stuff down. So, and Tyler Biadasz, he's going to be wearing number 63. And the last player to wear number 63 was Corey Linsley. So that's some big shoes to fill. So we shall see. So it's going to be a fun, next couple of weeks with the draft coming up. So on that note, I do want to thank JD, the fella, who was backstage running all the hard stuff. I really appreciate you every single week and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you taking your time out of your day. And I want to thank everyone for taking their time out of their day to watch the show. Also, do you think the Ray Turds will sweep the Bolts this year? Oh, hell no. No. If you want my personal opinion, I'm going to say a split. That's what I'm going to say. I'll say we'll split. The Raiders did get better. They got an offensive line. They got a lot of players. They did not address their offense. That's, for me, as a Chargers fan, yeah, the Raiders got better. They got Linderbaum. That's going to be great for a rookie quarterback to grow with. So, hey, kudos to them. They got a great center. I ain't going to lie, I did want Linderbaum, but that how much money they got for him, that was a lot. But we're going to see what Mendoza is. And I know I've said this, that I don't think he's going to start right away. But then again, the Raiders being the Raiders, they could end up throwing him to the Wolves. And if they do that, I think it's a big mistake. I feel the Raiders need to sign a player like a Kirk Cousins, a quarterback that's out there in free agency that can come in, let Mendoza learn the system. But I did read a blurb today that the Raiders already have given Mendoza the playbook, exactly what the Cincinnati Bengals did with Joe Burrow before he was drafted. So Mendoza's already learning the offense now. So, and the verbiage and all that, I don't know, whatever. But I know he's already learning the playbook, so we shall see. Hey, I just look at it this way. The Raiders suck. The Donkeys' asses suck. The Kansas City Chiefs, they suck. Now, let me get to the Kansas City Chiefs. I met a friend of mine, and he has a Kansas City Chiefs called a Chiefs podcast and on YouTube. His name is Chris. I will be going on. Chris invited me onto his show during the season, and I told Chris, I don't mind coming on to your show. I will be respectful towards the Kansas City Chiefs and tone down my hatred that week. I will try my best. And I told Chris, you're more than welcome to come on my show on the Chiefs week. And it'll be kind of fun. Having a breakdown of your biggest rival of the AFC West will be kind of fun. So I will, during the season, get back to that. But no, I just wanted to bring that up. And obviously, I'm going to probably have Bakes on. I'm going to have, I'll find someone from the Donkey's asses or something like that. But no, it's going to be a fun year. But I just want to say again, thank you everyone for tuning in, taking the time out of your day. I hope you had a lovely day, a blessed week, and you have an even better weekend. And that's a wrap for episode 26. But before I do that, head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. There's a sale coming up on April 6th to the 8th. And then there's the following week, there's another sale that's a lot larger cost. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Take a look what's around. You got to find a lot of things from Lightning Lad shirts, the Los Angeles Chargers McConkey, Herbert shirt, but there's everything. I mean, Peacock can do any kind of custom design. So what's this? I heard Mark Davis will be added as coach on the Chargers. I don't know if I'd want a hairline on my team like that, but man, keep that guy in Vegas. He's better off there. You'd think with all his money, he'd get a better head of hair, pause. But then again, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? So, as the shenanigans, I know we're going to have our own shenanigans, JD, Bogey, and all of that over in August. We'll have our own 3-day. So that's our Gen Welsh shenanigans. We're going to have a good time at our fantasy football draft. So I'm looking forward to that. On that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in for episode 26. And I will be bringing you episode 27. So just stay tuned and have a wonderful weekend. And again, thank you for joining me. And that's the Chargers Power Hour, episode 26, powered by NeonPeacockMerch.com. And the Gen, well, just like, subscribe. Hey, if you want to watch some football, JD and I are going to be going live tomorrow for the UFL game. So you're more than welcome to come and join us. Hop on over. Hey, if you're not subbed up to the Gen, well, sub up, set your alerts and notifications, and feel free to join us tomorrow. And also, we'll have Wake Your Game Up on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we're going to, on the Gen Wealth, there's not a show. If there's something going on, we're going to do something. So on that note, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful weekend. Let's go, Chargers. Bolt the fuck up. Thank you for tuning in.
My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie. Like to party. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling pop molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over metaphor, cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all pussies getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, tap pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.